How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and everybody in between? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to another live reaction to My Hero Academia. We are on manga chapter number 328, titled No Man is an Island.
No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
Now, I have no idea what this title means for the events of this chapter, but I am very curious to see where we go from here, because we are coming off of a much-needed breather of a chapter now that Deku is back at UA.
Run.
And Class 1A wasted no time at all to give Deku his much-needed bath. They rushed him in, stripped him down, and washed away all of the dirt and grime. And once Deku was clean, he was also able to reunite with All Might after leaving him behind, and once they both apologized, Deku just passed the hell out and is finally getting the rest that he needs. And we're gonna need him well rested because apparently, in a month's time, Shigaraki's body is going to be perfected.
Wow, Kevin, that's messed up. It probably doesn't get any worse than that. Well, you're wrong. It does.
So going into this chapter, are we going to be staying at UA with Deku, or are we going to be continuing with our pro heroes who are using the information they got from Stain to hopefully track down All For One and Shigaraki? Either way, I'm excited to see where we go from here. So mount, ladies and gentle criminals, without further ado, let's dive right into chapter 328.
Flashback.
You're the one who will watch help us from a cell for the rest of your days.
Rest of my days, huh?
Now then, shall we begin?
Yo, here we go. First page of the chapter, and it looks like we are flashing back to the Tartarus prison break. About 1 month ago, Countercork Maximum Security Special Prison, Tartarus. And we can see the prison engulfed in flames with buildings and guard towers crumbling down to the ground as the prisoners continue to riot. But we can see one prisoner just running down this hallway, laughing maniacally to himself. Wahahaha! Women! Give me some women! Never thought I'd see the day when I could start collecting females again.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yo, this man deserved to be locked up in Tartarus just based on that dialogue alone. And if you look at his prison ID, it starts with D69. LOL! That is just too fitting for our horny prisoner right here.
Fatality!
Yo!
Where are the people, the women, for the wonderful era to be reawakened? Women and children are crawling everywhere like maggots. How marvelous! It'll be a massacre! The world is overrun by fakes and criminals like you. Ready freeze! You must all be purged.
And just like that, Stain comes out of nowhere with a shiv in hand, and we see him just slitting the throat of our horny prisoner.
Damn!
The days of this man collecting women are now officially over. He had no idea that the hero killer was lurking around that corner, and now he is dead.
Everything that I do is to create a stronger society.
And it looks like Stain just killed this man on instinct alone because he's not even acknowledging his kill while he's looking around confused like, huh? What's going on here? And we just see Stain pushing his back up against the wall, hiding from all of these villains that are running by, trying to escape. I haven't heard a word of news about anything beyond these walls since my arrest in Hosu City. But if Tartarus has fallen, the world beyond must be in dire straits. Information is essential. And we can see Stain arriving at the control room, but he looks in to see all of the computers destroyed and a whole bunch of dead guards littering the floor. And Stain just says to himself, nothing left here. We have this zoomed in shot on Stain's eye as he's looking down at one of the guards who appears to be holding onto a box in his hands. The others met their grisly ends gripping firearms, but this one clutches something else, like a babe in his arms. And as Stain tries to take the box, we see that the guard is in fact still alive and he is not letting go, holding onto that box till his dying breath.
How are you not dead?
I have no idea!
Why? Grab this, and not a weapon. The ragged breathing of a man doomed to die. I require information. Chisome Akaguro, you worked with Shigaraki. This is not for you. So it's something that matters then.
Behold.
Yo, and I love that shading on Stain's face right here as he's just looming over this dying guard.
Mine.
And we see Stain just ripping that box from this guy's hands. Stored data. And he opens the box to reveal the chips that he ends up giving to All Might. But it's interesting to see that the box actually contains 3 chips and not just the one that we saw in last chapter hidden in his knife. I'm guessing the other 2 might be used to back up Tartarus's information, but I'm assuming Stain handed over all 3 to All Might. But now that he has acquired that information, Stain just turns around and is leaving this man to die, and we can just see the guard yelling back to Stain, "You! Killer!" And you see him grabbing the gun right beside him, and he points it directly at Stain.
If you call yourself a hero, you should choose your last words with care.
Drop it! That must reach the right people. Give it back. Not for you. Must do my duty. This era has gone awry. Rest assured, your conviction will reach the right man. The only man that I deem worthy, I'll be giving it to All Might. And we just see the room beginning to collapse around this guard as he is yelling back to Stain, "Akaguro, are you a man or a beast? I'm merely an ally to the world as it should be, but a beast all the same."
Hero is a title for those who've accomplished great deeds. This city is full of false champions. All they care about is money and fame. Until this world realizes its mistakes, I will continue my work. I will purge you. You won't be getting out of here alive.
Yo, Stain looks so badass in this panel shot with the debris falling around him. But my god, his chin game is strong in this panel shot. He could give the Crimson Chin a run for his money. But I do love this last line he delivered to this dying guard, basically saying, I am the perfect ally for the current situation in society, but at the end of the day, I am still the same killer and beast I have always been.
Victory is my destiny.
Yo! And I can hear the music playing already. We leave Stain to go outside into the Tartarus courtyard where we can see All For One standing on top of debris, just basking in the glory as Tartarus's liberator.
I will give you everything you want if you agree to join me. You have my word. Choice to those without power. Mercy to those who have sinned. Dreams have become reality. And reality doesn't follow stock plots.
All For One is living up to that Demon King title right here. we just see Tartarus crumbling down around him as you see the prisoners crawling up the debris to follow their new liberator like a god gathering his disciples. You can just see the controlled Shigaraki standing there at AFO's side as we look to the sky to see the helicopters taking off, and you know they are filled to the brim with villains. All for One is unleashing chaos upon Japan, and he is enjoying every second of it.
Nope.
And peeking from behind a wall, Stain can see all of this unfolding before him, but he wants nothing to do with All for One. He's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And we see him diving off of the wall of Tartarus down into the ocean so he can swim back to Japan.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. This shit, I'm out.
That nameless man guarded this data to his dying breath. As for its true value, I cannot say. So I will deliver it to the only one who has earned my trust. And once Stain got back to the mainland, he started to catch up on everything that he missed out on. He learned about All Might's retirement, as well as Endeavor advancing to the #1 hero spots. To his final moments, that guard held a dying ember of resolve to act for society's sake. You must pick up where he left off, because everything began with you.
End of flashback.
And with that, we come out of the flashback. We are back with All Might, who appears to be at the police station with Tsukauchi right here, who is now starting to grow out some facial hair. But right behind him, we can see Sansa the cat, who now has a little scar above his left eye. All Might delivered the intel to Tsukauchi's people and later rejoined them after speaking with Deku at UA. And we got Tsukauchi saying, "Good job, boys. Glad to hear you've patched things up with Midoriya. Anyhow, we're really losing face getting help from a killer like this. But Tartarus' system is a standalone one, built that way in order to prevent interference from external forces. So normally, nobody else would have access to this data in any form. As for the data itself, it concerns the cause of their system shutdown. The same radio waves that Shigaraki made extensive use of in the main battle. In this case, the prison was hit with those blasts over and over from both inside and out." And then we got Sansa saying, because All for One himself must have synchronized with his vestige residing within Tomura Shigaraki, right?
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
Did that cat just talk?
And then All Might says, "Well, Sansa, yes. The piece of his consciousness inside his quirk works as a conduit for sharing thoughts. I've experienced the same phenomenon with One for All. The problem is that it isn't a two-way channel. The vestige of me within One for All seems to have access to my thoughts, but I never experienced any sort of syncing with the vestige's thoughts." And we got a little diagram right here showing how All Might's thoughts can be transferred to the vestige, but not vice versa. Except recently when I touched the boy.
Phrasing.
Pause. Phrasing, All Might. Except recently when I touched the boy. Or rather, when I was close enough to touch him. Whatever my vestige was thinking and feeling sort of flowed into me. It's not words exactly. More like feelings flowing from you. Even if we suppose that All for One can sync to a greater degree than One for All, do we really believe that his real body, locked up 500 meters below sea level, could receive such specific thoughts from the vestige in Shigaraki?
Open your mind!
Master, lend me your power.
That is a wise decision. All of this is for you, my successor.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Master.
What if this has to do with the hand on Shigaraki's face? Like, what if that's All for One's hand that Shigaraki is wearing?
That is clearly something I would do.
That would make sense. Because it wasn't until Spinner put the hand on Shigaraki that the vestige of All for One took full control. And kind of goes along with what All Might's saying right here. All Might couldn't tell what the vestige was thinking until he made contact with Deku. So what if the same thing is happening with All for One and his vestige.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it makes sense for why he's able to synchronize and talk with his vestige when he wasn't close to him and when he was 500 meters below sea level.
You serious?
And I love this face that Sansa is making after what All Might just said. He looks like he's completely done with all of this shit. Stranger Things, right? Kind of like a twin connection. That could very well be, but in this case, they use those radio waves to communicate. These radio waves can be used as signals to give the Nomu very specific commands. And that was the moment when he commanded the Nomus for their retreat. We should assume that a man in possession of that same quirk could receive and interpret those waves. And the waveform data on that storage media resembles a conversation. Then it's already been decoded? What were they saying? Make him complete in 38 days.
Oh, no.
Wait. That doesn't give us a month's time at all then. Because if that's the conversation they had a month ago during the prison break, that gives us 8 days max for Shigaraki's body to be perfected. And Sansa has this shocked look on his face hearing this, and he's like, oh, but based on the research from Central Hospital, I thought we had 2 months, no? Exactly, me and Sansa are on the exact same page right here. He could have rigged the results we were bound to get as a bluff. Only he and his vestige could interpret that correspondence at the time. So if we assume they discussed the true schedule, then Tomura Shigaraki will be a complete vessel in 3 days' time.
3 days. Yes, we all have 3 days to live.
It's over. We are screwed.
Oh, we're gonna fucking die.
Yo. No. This isn't good. This is not good at all.
3 days!
3 days. That's all we've got. 3 frickin' days until Tomura Shigaraki's body is perfected.
This is the worst.
God damn, this is not good. A month would have been tough, but our heroes possibly could have done it in that time. But 3 fucking days.
Oh no.
That's next to impossible. Our heroes are going to need a miracle, or All for One's gonna have to slip up in the final moments, and I don't see him doing that anytime soon, because he has been running circles around our heroes, always being 5 steps ahead as he plays his 10D chess. And the worst part about this is that we don't know if this information is true or if it's a bluff by All for One, because he could have planned to have this information be found out by the heroes, and he could have planted it for them to find it, and they would plan around this information. But now All for One would plan for the heroes to plan around this new information, and he would have had this plan planned out the entire time.
But that is the plan. Now that they know our plan, they will plan around our plan. And so we shall in turn plan around the plan that they are planning around our plan.
Everything is proceeding as I had foreseen.
This just goes to show that All for One is indeed a master manipulator, and he just has the heroes playing in the palm of his hand. So for now, we're just going to have to assume that this new information is in fact correct, and we only have 3 days to find and locate All for One and Shigaraki. This situation just went from bad to worse.
Meanwhile...
Yo, and we transition away from All Might, and we see a building that looks like the UN right here. Please tell me we are finally getting to see some foreign heroes. Are they finally being deployed to Japan? A direct request from All Might, yes. But this sort of dispatch can't happen in a day. Even in the best of times, an international deployment effort takes a staggering amount of procedure and paperwork.
I recognize the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
Screw the paperwork, just get those heroes here. The strength of our heroes is directly tied to domestic power. When they go abroad, a nation is less able to deter attacks, and the balance crumbles. Any large-scale deployment tends to encourage the major crime syndicates to stir up trouble. But this time is worse than ever. Countries all over the world are in turmoil, almost as if those syndicates are working together. According to Interpol, the man known as All for One has underworld connections in a number of countries.
Hello there.
Yo, and we can see two of the foreign heroes right here. We've got our 2D Egyptian hero, as well as our lion hero, and I believe both of them appear in the World Hero Missions movie.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Even so, we cannot disregard this earnest plea from Endeavor, Hawks, and most notably, All Might. My nation's hero, Salam, is quickly losing patience. He has taken to muttering, "I will flatten that All for One." I'm liking the pun right there. Having our 2D hero saying he's gonna flatten All for One. The same goes for our hero, Big Red Dot. He questions why aiding a friend must involve so much red tape. On that note, ours already left. All right, we already have a hero on the move. She couldn't sit around any longer. She skipped out on everything and just flew off.
Fear not, citizens. Everything is fine. You're safe because I am here.
United States of America's #1 hero, Star and Stripe. Let's go. It is about damn time that we are finally being introduced to America's #1 hero. And it is not a man. We have a woman kicking ass as our #1, and she looks amazing on this double page spread that is just oozing America energy. And I really like the fact that she's kind of drawn in a similar style to All Might, especially with the way that her hair is designed. But we can see her repping the red, white, and blue. She's got those stars on her collar, and it also looks like she's got the American flag as a cape. But the best part about this page is the fact that she is hitching a ride on top of a stealth bomber that is flying her to Japan.
Oh my sweet Jesus.
That's rad.
That right there is as American as it gets, and the added fact that she is disobeying orders to be the first one to arrive is also a very American thing to do. She is very gung-ho, and I am very excited to learn more about her and to see her quirk in action. Hey, no skin off our back, Star. This mission's guaranteed to get the green light anyway, sooner or later. Besides, the request came from All Might himself. My master's in a pickle. Why would I think twice?
I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Whoa, wait, All Might's her master? She's a pupil of All Might. Well, I guess that does make sense because All Might did study abroad in America, but I kind of thought he had a rule of rarely having sidekicks or pupils.
It was my policy not to take on sidekicks, but eventually I gave in and let him be my #2. We worked together for about 5 years. He was the brain behind my operations.
He had Night Eye as a sidekick, and he worked alongside David Shield, and Deku is kind of the exception due to the connection with One for All. So is Star and Stripe actually All Might's pupil? Or does she just look up to All Might and aspire to be like him, thus calls him Master? I don't know, but I am excited to learn more about her and to see how she is actually connected to All Might when he spent his time in America. That right there is the end of the chapter. Next chapter hits October 10th.
We need a response team. These people may be isolated, unbalanced even, but I believe with the right push, they can be exactly what we need.
You believe?
War isn't won by sentiment, Director.
No. It's won by soldiers.
Nice to see the clouds from this side again. Can't even tell we're 30,000 feet up. Quinjet inbound. We'll be on site in a few.
Follow me!
Yo, this right here was a good setup chapter, and it has me very excited for where we are going moving forward. Because after all of the teasing from Horikoshi with these foreign heroes arriving in Japan, it looks like that time has finally come, and we are going to need all the reinforcements that we can get based on the information that we learned from Stain in this chapter. Because Shigaraki's body is not going to be perfected in 1 month's time. It's going to be perfected in 3 days. And I don't see our heroes tracking down All For One within that time frame, so we need to focus on getting these foreign heroes into Japan sooner rather than later. And the one leading the charge coming to Japan first is, of course, the #1 hero from America, Star and Stripe, who apparently calls All Might master. Whether that is true still remains to be seen, but I am very much looking forward to seeing her in action, to learn about her quirk, but I really want to see how she's going to interact with Deku and All Might when she arrives. So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 328 of My Hero Academia. But for now, I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of this chapter. What do you guys think about the chapter overall? Were you guys shocked to hear that Shigaraki's body will be completed in 3 days' time? Were you excited to see America's #1 hero Star and Stripe? And are you looking forward to seeing more foreign heroes arriving in Japan? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon that you guys can be alerted for every new MHA reaction that pops up on the channel. But if you guys want to talk about other things or talk about MHA outside of YouTube, feel free to also follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can also be found in the description down below. But that's going to do it for me here, guys. So until next week, we have chapter 329 of My Hero Academia. I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus Ultra!